Now in this video we'll be talking about artboards just to understand them a little more in Illustrator. So artboards are the pages in Illustrator. The way you have pages in your regular Word document, you have artboards in Illustrator, and they are basically used to be able to organize your content and just give you different elements in different locations. So as you can see here, let me zoom out a little. I'll just zoom out. Okay, so you can see here I have 3 artboards, which is 1, 2, and 3 here. If I would let me zoom back in a little. If you look down here, you can see 1 is selected, which is telling you that I'm viewing my first artboard. When I click my arrow, it goes to the second one, so it has put this in focus. Next and the third one. So I can just zoom out a little more so they can see everything. So artboards are the pages in Illustrator, and they're very easy to maneuver. They're very easy to use. You use the artboard tool, which is down here. So I'm just gonna drag this a little. Okay, so here's the artboard tool. So you use this to manage your artboard. So things you can do, you can duplicate an artboard. So I hold down my options button on my Mac keyboard, and then as I drag, you can see here it's duplicating the artboard. It has made it, and it has made another artboard there. One other thing you'll notice here is at the top left hand corner of every artboard, you'll see a number and then a name. Technically, yeah, a name. So the number is what Illustrator uses to identify the order of the artboard. So it makes sense. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. The name is what you are allowed to edit. So you can't edit the number, you can edit the name. So here I have this artboard named wine. So let's say I change that. Let's assume I can change that back to red, for example. Enter. So you can see the artboard is now named 01-red, and this is 02 yellow, this is 03 blue outline, and this is 04 blue outline copy, because I just made a copy of that artboard just now. So this is important because you need to be able to keep a track of the number of your artboards and then what order they come in. You could have up to 1,000 artboards in a single Adobe Illustrator document, so it's very important to be able to organize them properly. Now one thing I can do is I can click this here. I can rearrange my artboards the way I want them to. So let's say, just for presentation purposes, I wanted to bring this here. So here's what you'll notice is this. If you look at the top left hand corner, 01 red, 03 blue outline. So you can see here that Illustrator is not identifying these artboards based on their visual arrangement, but instead based on their chronological arrangement, how they appeared in the document. So this is still the second artboard. If I, however, wanted to put it in a different position, I come here to the artboard panel. So when I click there, artboard panel, you can see here, as far as Illustrator is concerned, my first artboard is the red, my second is the yellow, third is the blue outline, and the fourth is blue outline copy. So if I wanted to rearrange it to match what I'm visually seeing here, I hold on yellow and drag it down to the bottom. So when I do that, it has now become 04 yellow, as you can see. Now this is important when you're trying to export. So we're going to attempt an export right now. So to export, I go File, and then export for screen. So export is when you're done with the work on your artboard and you want to take them out, take out the vector graphics, you want to take out the PNGs, you want to take out the JPEGs, and for presentation purposes. So you can see here I have my artboard selected. You can see I have 3 of them highlighted, and that's why there's a range here, 1, 3 to 4. That's because the second artboard is missing. However, if I added it to the list, you can see it just says 1 to 4 here. So let's say I was only interested in, for example, let's say only the last artboard, which is my yellow, as you can see here. So you can say 4, yellow is selected here. So let's say I wanted to have it as a JPEG, for example, JPEG 100. That's talking about the quality level of the JPEG. And then I export artboard. So when I do that, it's going to export it here, and I'm just going to hit. This is it right here, yellow 100 JPEG. I'd done some previous exports on this, so that's why you can see all these ones here. But then if I double click it to open up, and then you can see this is my artboard that has been exported. So you can see why the arrangement is important. You can, sometimes you may not be able to rely on the visual arrangement, but then you should know that these numbers are very important. So let's say I wanted to rearrange my artboard, just make them a little more orderly. I can just come here, artboard options. So sorry, rearrange all. So you can see it can give me a particular layout. I can either layout first by row, doing a grid by row, or a grid by column. So I just select the first one here, which is grid by row. So let's say I want to have 2 columns. So when I do that, I'm going to have one artboard, second artboard, then the third artboard is going to come underneath the first artboard, and then it's going to keep arranging it like that, no matter how many artboards I have. So when I click OK, you can see it has rearranged my entire artboard in a grid format. So let's say I wanted to try another format, which is rearranged by column. So what that does is, in this scenario, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. However, if I wanted it to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I can just, that's what's going to happen here. So you can see now this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. I can also rearrange them just as a single row, and then they're all arranged in a row, or I can rearrange them in a single column. You can see here they're all arranged from top to bottom. So this is how we maneuver our artboards in Illustrator. Remember, you can have as much as 1,000 artboards in your Illustrator documents, and you can just work with them. You can use them to export, and you can also arrange them the way that you want. All right, that will be it for artboards.